The United States is showing a growing interest in energy projects in the Philippines. American companies are particularly keen on exploring for oil and gas deep within the Philippine archipelago. This surge in interest comes at a time when similar projects in the South China Sea have stalled due to disputes with China. The Philippines, eager to diversify its energy sources and assert its maritime claims, welcomes this American investment. However, this budding energy partnership has not gone unnoticed by China, which views it with suspicion and concern. This situation highlights the complex geopolitical dynamics in the Indo-Pacific region, where energy security, territorial disputes, and international alliances intersect. The Philippines, caught between its growing ties with the U.S. and its economic dependence on China, faces a delicate balancing act. As the U.S. deepens its involvement in the region's energy sector, the potential for escalation and conflict looms large. This emerging energy triangle between the U.S., the Philippines, and China has far-reaching implications for regional stability. The stakes are high for all parties involved, and the outcome of this geopolitical chess match remains uncertain. The energy projects attracting U.S. investment are located within the Philippines' Exclusive Economic Zone, or EEZ. This zone, extending 200 nautical miles from the Philippines' coastline, grants the country sovereign rights to explore and exploit marine resources, including oil and gas. The Philippines argues that these projects fall well within its EEZ and are thus within its legal rights. However, China contests these claims, asserting its own expansive maritime boundaries in the South China Sea. China's 9-dash line encompasses a vast area of the South China Sea, overlapping with the EEZs of several Southeast Asian countries, including the Philippines. This disagreement over maritime territory forms the crux of the dispute, with both countries claiming sovereign rights over the energy-rich waters. The Philippines is leveraging its long-standing security ties with the United States to bolster its position in the South China Sea and attract foreign investment. The two countries share a mutual defense treaty dating back to 1951, which obliges them to come to each other's aid in case of an attack. The Philippines sees its alliance with the U.S. as a crucial deterrent against Chinese assertiveness in the region. By deepening security cooperation with the U.S., the Philippines aims to strengthen its military capabilities and enhance its maritime domain awareness. This, in turn, is seen as a way to create a more secure environment for foreign investors, particularly in the energy sector. China has expressed strong opposition to U.S. involvement in Philippine energy projects, viewing it as a direct challenge to its sovereignty and maritime rights. Beijing argues that the U.S. is interfering in a bilateral issue between China and the Philippines, complicating the situation and undermining regional stability. China's foreign ministry has issued repeated warnings, stating that the U.S. is stirring up trouble in the South China Sea and urging Washington to respect China's territorial sovereignty and maritime rights. China sees the U.S. presence as emboldening the Philippines to take a more assertive stance, further escalating tensions. Section 5. A cooperative facade, China's call for joint development. Despite its strong opposition to United States involvement, China continues to advocate for joint oil and gas development projects with the Philippines. Beijing argues that cooperation is the only way forward, and that both countries stand to benefit from jointly exploring and exploiting resources in the South China Sea. China has repeatedly called on the Philippines to set aside their differences and engage in dialogue to resolve the maritime disputes peacefully. Beijing's emphasis on joint development can be seen as a strategic move to counter United States influence in the region and maintain its own access to energy resources. Section 6. Navigating the tightrope, the Philippines' delicate balancing act. The Philippines finds itself in a precarious position, caught between its desire for economic development and its security concerns vis-à-vis China. On the one hand, the country is eager to attract foreign investment, particularly in its energy sector, to fuel its economic growth. On the other hand, the Philippines is wary of provoking China, a major trading partner and a regional powerhouse. This balancing act is further complicated by the Philippines' security alliance with the United States, which China views with suspicion. Section 7. Recent developments, fanning the flames of discord. Recent incidents in the South China Sea have further inflamed tensions between China and the Philippines. In June 2024, a clash occurred between the Chinese Coast Guard and Philippine vessels near the Second Thomas Shoal, a disputed area in the Spratly Islands. This incident, followed by a collision in the Sabina Shoal in August 2024, underscores the fragility of the situation and the potential for miscalculation. In response to these incidents, the United States and the Philippines signed a $500 million defense aid agreement in July 2024, further strengthening their military cooperation. Section 8. The stakes are high risks and regional implications. The Philippines' decision to deepen its security and economic ties with the United States carries significant risks. China, with its considerable economic clout, could retaliate by imposing trade barriers or reducing investments in the Philippines. Moreover, increased U.S. involvement in the South China Sea raises the specter of regional tensions and potential conflict. The situation highlights the complex interplay of energy security, territorial disputes, and international alliances in one of the world's most volatile regions. Section 9. A geopolitical chessboard, energy, territory, and alliances. The escalating tensions in the South China Sea over energy resources are symptomatic of a broader geopolitical rivalry between the United States and China. The region, home to vital shipping lanes and abundant natural resources, has become a focal point of this rivalry. The United States, seeking to maintain its dominance in the Indo-Pacific, views China's assertiveness as a threat to its interests and those of its allies. As the